The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE, America's fastest, most reliable 4G network. Welcome back to Rogers Arena in Vancouver. Let's go right down to Brian Engblom, who has the Canucks captain, Henrik Sedin.
Henrik, you've been very vocal lately that your team doesn't get pushed around by anybody. It seems like San Jose likes to play that kind of game. What effect does it have on you?
Nothing real. I mean, we play our game from whistle to whistle, and if they want to go after us, I think it's good for our team. I mean, we play with a lot of speed, and so usually doesn't really affect us. I mean, we did good last year with the team we have, and it's going to be the same this year.
You guys are the highest scoring team in the league. How do you create offense against this team tonight?
Well, they're really good defensively. I mean, they got a lot of firepower up front too, so you have to be careful when you're on the ice to not turn the puck over and stuff like that. But first of all, we got to get pucks in net and bodies there.
Thanks, Henrik.
Thank you.
Well, these two teams met last week in San Jose. It was the second of 4 meetings, and it has been Vancouver that's come out on top in the previous two, both times by 3-2 scores. Vancouver wants to remain perfect. San Jose hasn't played since this game, so they are ready to go here tonight. Opening face-off coming up next.
Plain Dog leaving you hungry for more, girls? Sing it.
Chili cheese.
Make you hot, make you sweat, but you gotta know how to ask. From your mouth, the Sonic's ears, right back to your mouth.
Need cheesy chili, that just sounds silly.
That's an upside-down hot tub of flavor.
Chili cheese me, that's how you please me.
Try one of these favorites for $1.99 or chili cheese, whatever you like. This is how you Sonic.
When you need money, you shouldn't just get it fast. You should also get it for free. That's why at H&R Block, you could get money that's both fast and free on an Emerald card. Just bring in your tax information and get a refund anticipation check in 7 to 14 days for up to $9,999. You pay nothing out of pocket. Hurry, this offer ends February 4th. Why pay for fast money when you can get it for free? Call 1-800-HR-BLOCK to make an appointment. H&R Block, never settle for less.
Can I help you, buddy? No, I'm good.
Ice cold excitement meet Rocky Mountain Cold Refreshment. Frost brewed Coors Light, official beer of the NHL.
Little help?
Laces? Really? Slip-on's the way to go. More people do that, security would be like a...
There's no charge for the bag.
Thanks. I know a quiet little place where we can get some work done is a 3-pronged plug.
I have club passes. Now there's a mileage card that offers special perks on United, like a free checked bag, United club passes, and priority boarding.
Thanks. Okay. What's your secret?
The new United Mileage Plus Explorer card. Get it and you're in.
The only thing that stands between a man and what he wants from life is often merely the will to try it and the faith to believe that it's possible.
Every day, all day, believe it.
I believe! I believe!
This is the new 24-hour sports network, the NBC Sports Network.
Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, home of the Canucks for tonight. The 381st consecutive sellout is expected as we take a look at the starting goaltenders presented by Honda Pilot. On the right, it will be Roberto Luongo for the Canucks, who has started 13 of the last 15 games. He's been the workhorse for them of late. It'll be Antti Niemi making his 12th consecutive start for the San Jose Sharks. And of course, his last start was against the Vancouver Canucks, a 3-2 overtime loss, and there are his career numbers against Vancouver as he stopped 27 of 30 in that 3-2 overtime loss down in San Jose last Wednesday night. Roberto Luongo and the Canucks have played a couple of games since then, a win in Anaheim and then a loss in LA. And you heard Brian Engblom, if you're watching our pregame show, talking to Alex Burrows about the fact that Luongo and the rest of the Canucks were not at all happy about the way that road trip ended. Their effort or lack of effort in LA didn't sit well. In fact, Alain Vigneault, the head coach of the Canucks, called the practice yesterday. Right away, a chance here is blocked in front of Luongo, and a rebound chance off the stick of Marleau. Did not get through to the Vancouver goal. What a terrific opportunity, Brian. That would have been if that got through.
Oh, no kidding. Salo just misplayed the puck and gave the 2-on-1 chance from the blue line in. And here's Roberto Luongo making a save. Salo tried to stand up in the neutral zone, and after a regroup by San Jose at their own blue line, there goes Salo, number 6, up there, and he just can't get a handle on it. This gives a great scoring chance, an outnumbered attack, the 2-on-1 low, and Vancouver does a nice job of making sure that it gets broken up there. That was Edler, the lone defenseman back there. He does a nice job of help breaking that play up. Ryan Clough with the great scoring chance.
Now the face-off controlled by the San Jose Sharks. Vancouver throughout the season has been a terrific face-off team, but they didn't fare very well in Los Angeles the other night. And now Hocher for the Canucks drops it back.
Well, Dave, if you believe in statistics, too, the Vancouver Canucks dominate first period. San Jose tends to be much slower.
Yep.
The goal total is like 41 to 26, and that's a big difference. So if Vancouver can have a good third period, it makes it tough for San Jose to come back.
Mason Raymond sends it out to the line. Bieksa tees it up. Now he'll let it go. Of course, Bieksa was the overtime hero in the series-clinching game of the Western Conference Finals between these two teams last spring. Game again on the far side, who had lost his stick. Still trying to make a play, and now Jesus has it. He'll start it back the other way. 3 Sharks, and now 4 as McGinn joins the rush. Torrey Mitchell gets a stick on it, puts it to the side of the net. Slapped around the boards and hustling over, but unable to get there to hold it in was Justin Braun.
Well, these two teams played against each other last Wednesday, and as usual, it got pretty nasty. I don't think it'll take very long to get there again here tonight.
Now Ballard hands it off. Hughes. Here is Henrik Sedin. His pass deflected away by Pavelski. Ferrio, number 78, trying to get in there. Then Ferrio's second game that he's starting out on a line with the 2 Joes, Pavelski and Thornton. Again, without Martin Havlat, Brian, we talked with Todd McClellan just a couple of hours before the game, and he said, boy, it's just a huge loss. Not only because of missing the talents of Martin Havlat, but then you have to shuffle a lot of different guys around and maybe put them in unfamiliar positions.
Yeah, San Jose's made some adjustments for sure in their game in general. One of them is the penalty kill. They've designated more guys on the penalty kill, like Desjardins has become a penalty killer now. They've taken some of the heat off of their star players, and that's helped their penalty kill, which also evens out the minutes and gives more people more responsibility.
Winchester tried to get it to the front. He gets there again, and it's back out to center ice. And positive news for the Vancouver Canucks as this play is offside. Chris Higgins is back in the lineup tonight after missing the last 4.
Well, let's take a look at the last game that was played in San Jose between these two games. And Thornton and Henrik Sedin, this goes back to last year in the playoffs, and it actually goes back a lot farther than that. Thornton tries to play hard against Sedin. He tries to get in his face, literally. Look at this. Look at this. I couldn't help but laugh when I saw this. Like, he was obviously doing it on purpose, and finally Henrik, just got angry. But Henrik Sedin's got a high threshold for things like that. People are always on top of him. They're trying to do whatever they can to get him off their game. Dave, you know what? Same thing with Daniel. I'm thinking at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing, if I'm a Vancouver player or the coaching staff, I wouldn't mind seeing Henrik or Daniel just take a swing at somebody one time, just to sort of even that out a little bit.
Well, one of the other things that Todd McClellan talked about in terms of playing against Vancouver is not going over the line. And Douglas Murray, who's just back for his second game after missing the previous 6 with a hand injury, has taken a penalty, and the #1 power play in the league goes to work.
Yeah, Todd McClellan's very worried about the power play for good reason. There's the penalty on Murray. The thing with Vancouver, though, they are the #1 power play. They've got 36 goals already this year, but they've been cold really for almost 10 games. They only got 2 goals in their last 10.
Yeah, that is quite a drop for this power play as Niemi steers it aside because they are clicking along still at better than 24% on the season as this power play is brought to you by Verizon 4G. And now here's Salo with a drive save made by Niemi, got the right pad on it, and the puck is cleared. And on the other side of it, Brian, it was interesting what Todd McClellan said in terms of their penalty killing, because when you look at their overall numbers, 75%, they're 28th in the league.
Yeah.
He said, we don't look at that. We reset the numbers to a more recent period of time, and he said, you know what, now our guys feel pretty good about the penalty kill.
Well, sure, you have to clear the slate mentally. Good setup here for Vancouver.
Salo with a shot that was blocked. And that stung Desjardins. You mentioned him being a guy that's on the penalty kill now.
Yeah, he's been put out there, so it's a little less on Pavelski and Thornton and guys like that, and it makes Desjardins feel a lot better about himself.
Now here is Thornton. Took a stick there from Salo, and wow, he thought there was a penalty there.
You know what? Well, the bench is yelling too, but you know what? I think he just toe-picked. He made that move, and he just kind of toe-picked himself and went down.
Now Bieksa for Burrows. Back to Bieksa, who's on a career-high point streak. He's actually tied a career high that he set earlier this season with the points in 6 consecutive games. Just part of this high scoring Vancouver defense as Burrows now rink wide attempt was knocked down by Pavelski. At center ice, it's slapped away by Bieksa. Here is Burrows with it. Good job there dancing along the blue line to avoid being offside. Mason Raymond has it now. 20 seconds still remaining in the San Jose penalty to Douglas Murray. Bieksa sends it across. Now here's Hamhuis. Straight away Bieksa. Far side, and good stick there by Pavelski as Mason Raymond had it all loaded up for the one-timer on the far side.
Yeah, Pavelski wasn't fooled by the fake there. He knew where the pass was supposed to go in that situation because he's a power play guy too, and he got his stick right in the passing lane.
Douglas Murray comes out a big penalty kill early on in this game for the San Jose Sharks as Anna Hansen drops it back. Canucks managed a couple of shots on that power play.
But for San Jose, it was smart for Todd McLellan to just hit the reset button and say, okay, guys, we started off terribly on the penalty kill. Let's just forget about all that. And this was about 8 games ago that they did that and just sort of reset to 0. And they're very happy with the way it's gone from that point on.
Now Ebbett sends it out to the point. And a shot through traffic did not get all the way through. Andrew Ebbett, who was the overtime hero when these two teams met.
Oh, and Ryan Clough is just crippled. He's the one that blocked that shot in front of the net. He can't put any weight on his foot at all. I mean, he is really struggling getting off the ice.
And he settles this puck down. Now Brent Burns moves it quickly for Murray. Up the far side, it's redirected to center ice. Here's Ferriero with speed. Gets the wrist shot away. Luongo the save. Rebound pounced right back into the blue paint. And Salo, Brian, tried to get a handle on that, and he couldn't.
He said bad luck so far trying to get hands on puck so far. Maybe you better just stay back.
Corey Mitchell back to the line. Douglas Murray with a rising shot that goes off the glass. Justin Braun moves in from the right point. Now here is Thornton. That bounces off the skate of Holtra, and the referee on the far side lost sight of it. 6.5 gone by in the first period of Vancouver, no score.
On the right side of your screen, watch number 39, Logan Couture. He's going to block this shot right on the end of his knee. I mistakenly said it was Clough, but it was Couture that went down. He almost completely collapsed there, see? I mean, he just froze up there. That hit him right, obviously, above the shin pad and below the pants. And we'll have to see what his progress is as the game goes along.
Canucks win this face-off in their own zone. We are scoreless, 6.5 in. As a stretch pass now for Kessler. He cuts it with a backhand shot up high, and a save made by Niemi. Brent Burns able to kick it over to his defense partner, Jason Demers, and it's out to center ice. Mason Raymond has it there again. Mason Raymond, Ryan Kessler, Chris Higgins. This was that terrific second line for most of last season, and when they were healthy in the playoffs too, Brian. And Chris Higgins is back after missing the last 4 games.
He's a big part of that line. He's a tough guy. He's physical, but he's really fast too, and he works well with Kessler.
Now back the other way. Here comes McGinn with a wrist shot that Luongo gobbles up as Hanzus went for the front of the net.
One of the good things that Vancouver do coming out of their own zone is they do a fast break. Kessler on the fly on the last rush. Salo in the corner, gets his head up and threads it right through. Gets it right on the tape. Kessler pushing that defense of San Jose. You have to be aware of these guys all the time. Kessler will do it. Henrik Sedin will do it. Daniel Sedin would do it. Jason Demers does a real good job of making sure that he's not caught flat-footed, and he's with Kessler all the way.
Logan Couture, as I look down, Brian, across the way, is just returning to the San Jose bench. That's a good sign for them.
For sure.
Well, again, without Marty Havlat, you got to remember this is a team that didn't quite have a makeover like the Philadelphia Flyers, but they made a couple of changes. Setaguchi, Danny Heatley going to Minnesota.
And Marty Havlat, Havlat's hurt. He's going to be out for a while. He's on the IR. But, you know, that threat of him not being in the lineup, Todd McLellan talked about that. He said even though Havlat hasn't played probably as well as he'd like to, they still miss the threat of him in the lineup.
Now LaPierre, number 40, hands it off on the cycle. Burrows is there, slapped away momentarily from him, but number 14 gets it back. Straight away now for Hamhuis with a shot, missed it wide. Now Burrows again. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, the defenseman for San Jose, watching him. Now it goes back in deep. LaPierre protecting the puck against Boyle. Burrows again trying to get it out to the point. It's picked off and back the other way. Here comes Ryan Clough. And Clough will send it in deep. Luongo pushes it along. Daniel Sedin pushes it off the far boards. Comes to Henrik at center ice. Daniel pushes it in deep.
Ferrio getting some good ice time on the number 1 line, playing with the 2 Joes. Ferrio's got speed. Oh, bad turnover there.
Turnover picked off by Burrows, but his backhander into the glove of Niemi.
Joe Thornton had the puck there, and he thought that Burns was going to continue on up the ice. Instead, Burns backpedaled backwards towards the own front of his net just to sort of cover up, and Thornton ends up just throwing it to an open spot. Watch here, Burns sort of feints away, and Thornton thinks that he's going to go up the ice, and it hands it right to Burrows, but San Jose does a good job here of recovering at the last second, and it was only kind of a faint shot, and it was Thornton himself that got back in the play defensively. Good job. That long reach came in handy there.
Canucks have been controlling the faceoff circle early in this game. They control another one here as Cody Hodgson working against Couture. Now Hodgson gets to it, tried to feed it to the point. It was blocked. Douglas Murray outlets it now. Andrew Murray sent it in deep. No relation to Douglas, who was Swedish, of course. Andrew Canadian. Back to Justin Braun, and the redirected wide off will stick to Andrew Murray. Desjardins puts it back in deep. Ballard gets to it, plays it around the boards. Braun will hold it in. Blocked in front by Hodgson. He clears it back the other way. And Vlasic had just come off the San Jose bench on a defense change.
Yeah, that was an opportune line change for sure. Vlasic was able to get there in time. San Jose's not been able to establish their down-low presence in the offensive zone. They're big bodies. They like to play that game, but Vancouver's been pretty clean so far on their own end.
Now the 2 top lines, Brian, out here head-to-head. The Sedins and Burrows against Thornton, Pavelski, and Ferrio. And here's Ferrio chasing it down. Albert stepping in. Big hit.
Big hit on Ferrio. That was Alberts, who's a big man, and he crushed him.
Now Boyle, who had moved in from the point, gets a stick on it, controls, tries to get it to the backhand. The Canucks converge, but the puck did come free, and Ferrio got a shot away that hit the side of the net, and Burrows was able to lift it out to center ice. And goes right back into the Vancouver zone. Sallow. Here is Kessler. Hands it off for Higgins. Bouncing puck. Blocker aside by Niemi. Demers trying to be physical with Kessler. As it punched down to center ice and through the neutral zone.
Mitchell did a good job there, just getting the puck up the board so McGinn could get some pressure on the defense. Trying to make that diagonal pass coming out of the zone sometimes under pressure is a bad news thing, and Mitchell did the right thing, just chopping it up the wall.
Higgins was offside. We are past the halfway mark. It's physical here in Vancouver and scoreless. In Vancouver, it is time now for our Kia Motors coach interview with the Canucks, Alain Vigneault.
Alain, you weren't very happy with your team after the 4-1 loss in LA the other day. Do you like more what you see now in this game so far?
Yeah, I mean, so far, both teams, I mean, there's not a lot of room out there, so you got to fight for every inch, and all our games against San Jose this year have been really hard fought, so I don't expect anything different today.
You got the top power play in the league. It struggled a bit over the last 8 or 10 games. You didn't score in the first one. What do you see? What changes have to happen?
You know, that's going to happen in the power play. I think we're doing a lot of the right things. We're moving it quickly. We're trying to get shots on net, and that's the way to score.
Thanks, Alain.
My pleasure.
Alain Vigneault, the terrific head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. His team was a 500 club, and Kessler ripped one just wide.
That's the great scoring area, really in the deep slot, just a few feet inside the blue line. More center icemen are utilizing that area now. You get some great chances on turnovers. It's a great spot to look for an outlet pass, and Kessler just wired that one wide.
Kessler sends it ahead. It bounces off of Mason Raymond to finish that thought. The Canucks were a 500 team. They were 9-9-1, 11th in the West after a loss to Chicago back on November the 16th. But they are 15-4-1 in their 20 games since then. And that is second only to the Boston Bruins. So the two Stanley Cup finalists who both struggled out of the gate. Of course, Boston was 3-7 in their first 10.
Yeah, there's no surprise there, Dave. I mean, it was tough sledding. You know, Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. And both teams, both Boston and Vancouver, really had to recover, and they both had pretty poor first month. Boston's been a machine, and Vancouver very close behind. They've really gotten their game back. They're a little bit different team. They feel like they are than last year, and they're still fast. And they don't feel like they get pushed around. They still get sort of buttonholed with that aspect. People think that Vancouver can be pushed around, but I can tell you, Henrik Sedin hasn't been very happy about that. Let's go back to that last scoring chance that Kessler had on their shift. You'll see Kessler will move out to the slot, number 17 in blue. See the deep slot there. He just backs away, and the turnover and the pass from the corner. That's a hard area to defend against. You know, good look at it here. There's Kessler backing out. Good work in the corners. It was good job by Higgins and Raymond, his line mates there. Kessler pulled the trigger, and it was just wide.
Face-off control by the Canucks. Here's Burrows. Hands it off. Daniel Sedin looking to the front. Little flip pass. Boy, they're so good, the Sedins, at those little aerial passes flying in tight areas.
Yeah, and if you're not right on the stick of the guy in front, in that case it was Burrows, then it's going to be too late because Sedin can drop that on a dime.
And you made a good point about Daniel. I mean, he's been the goal scorer, but he's a terrific passer as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now Boyle. Henrik Sedin steps into him. Thornton plays it off the near boards, but it's taken away and driven by Edler. Back in on the Emmy, who had to be sharp to make that stop.
He literally fought that one off. He was in the act of going down to his knees, Dave, and that was going to come right at his head. He fired that blocker up and just shoved it up in the air.
Now Luongo posts it to the near side. Thornton hands it off. Pavelski wraparound try that went right through the blue paint. Emmett did a nice job leaning on Thornton. Now Pavelski on the far side gets it back for Thornton below the goal line. Edler stepping into him. Ebbett steps into Pavelski now as we have 7 minutes remaining here in the first period. Out to center ice. Boyle turns it back the other way on the rush with Marleau. Buying some time, hands it off. Long one-timer steered aside by Luongo.
That was a line change. Mitchell coming off the bench. Those are the hardest ones to pick up defensively. You don't normally look over at the bench and see who's coming, but Mitchell was coming, and it was a great setup by Boyle.
Bieksa with a great reverse shoulder hit. He saw the hit coming, and he ended up delivering the hit, and then gave the puck away as he tried to clear the zone. Hanzus slapped away by Hamhuis, and back the other way now comes Mason Raymond. He sends it right in front for a chance here by Kessler, and that was blocked by Brent Burns.
That was a good recovery by Burns because he actually didn't play that very well. He wasn't looking at Kessler, and he wasn't tracking him very well. He realized he better do something about the shot from the slot, and he dropped in front of it.
And I believe we're going to get a hand pass called. Yes, we are. The faceoff will come outside the San Jose zone.
Kessler with another good scoring chance there, and he'll be a little bit frustrated because he missed the net on the first one that we showed you a couple of shifts ago for him. And then on this last one, real nice play with Mason Raymond. He has great chemistry with Raymond too. Good to see Raymond back in the lineup after he got hurt in the playoffs. And here's the drop pass, and look at the penetration that he had. And Brent Burns, that puck didn't get to the net because Brent Burns dropped down to his knees in his tracks. But Burns had not taken a look at Kessler. Burns just went back to the front of his own net, and then he realized he was in big trouble, and he did a heck of a job there to block that shot from Kessler.
Ryan Clough and Dale Weiss are having a conversation as this puck is going to be dropped. Clough's talking to him, but Weiss is going to ignore it for now, and then Weiss is knocked down as he tried to deliver a hit on Douglas Murray.
That's because of Weiss's last shift, Dave. He went out there and he took a run at Desjardins big time, so I think that's what Ryan Clough will come out and straighten those kind of facts out very quickly.
Now Ballard back behind his own net.
Everybody's been fairly well behaved so far for two teams that just, quite frankly, hate each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hoping that changes real quick.
Well, when I saw the Weiss hit, we're going to take a look at it in a moment. When I saw or the attempted hit, at first I thought, you know what, maybe he pulled up and he realized that he might be in trouble with one of those illegal situations. But I don't think anybody on San Jose felt that he pulled up.
Yeah, intent can be read a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And any kind of intent between these two teams is not going to. You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Bill Thornton for Pavelski. Pass was deflected, but Pavelski gets it ahead. Taken away by Salo. Back to Burrows, who has to circle back into his own zone. Burrows for Daniel Sedin. Boyle right on him. Now Salo drops it back. Edler plays it ahead, deflected by Burrows in deep. Vlasic plays it up the near side. Marlowe off the board. It was blocked by Edler and sent back in deep. Burrows plays it far side. Jesus trying to clear it up the wall. Now Henrik Sedin gets a stick at it again, but it's recovered. Henry Mitchell now for McGinn. Jamie McGinn plays it around. Brent Burns moved in from the point. Here is Burns with a shot. Knocked down in front. And back come the Canucks. They get a 3-on-1. Jannik Hansen gets the return. Finally scores!
Well, San Jose really got caught up on the play, and Jannik Hansen scores almost an accidental goal on a 3-on-1 because he mishandling the puck on the final pass. Watch San Jose deep on the press here. Burns jumped in and goes all the way behind the net in the offensive zone. Nobody covered him up. Demers is the only defenseman back. And the quick pass across to Hansen, you can see how Hansen mishandles it. He wants it in the middle of the ice. That's a smart move. And then he gets the pass right back. He gets a handle on it again. I think that may have gone in off Demers and Niemi. Demers, oh, a stick. There we go. It went off the stick at the last second.
Yeah, Jamie McGinn was reaching in. The puck kind of went 5-hole. You're right.
It was so hard to tell from down here. All I saw was Demers sliding and Hansen mishandling the puck. But it's McGinn coming back, trying to help out, and doesn't.
And Jannik Hansen continues to build on his career high already. That's his 12th. Here's LaPierre, rips one just wide of Niemi.
That's the 4th or 5th turnover coming off the boards, especially on the right wing side. San Jose's right wing side there. Too many turnovers.
LaPierre with a shot that's deflected wide of Niemi. Here is Braun with it and turns, and the referee at center ice has spotted an interference call here. And it will be a Vancouver power play when we come back. They already have a 1-goal lead as a result of this play by Jannik Hansen. There have been 2 penalties in this game, both against Douglas Murray. He went off earlier, and he gets an interference call here, Brian.
Yeah, he's just trying to rub out one of the Vancouver players on the forecheck there, Douglas Murray. That's not a good penalty to take. Taking trips to the wrong side of the ice here. This Vancouver power play has been ailing, and if you're San Jose, you don't want them to get healthy on you tonight.
Power play is brought to you by Verizon 4G. As you mentioned earlier, the Canucks without a power play goal in 8 of their last 10 games. That is a real slump for this team.
It's part of the cycles of the National Hockey League, though.
Yep.
I mean, this is a powerful power play. I mean, they are really good. And you're just going to have slumps like this. It just happens. Everybody studies video, and it takes away things. That's why you constantly have to adapt on the power play.
Even with that slump, they're still 4 percentage points ahead of the second best power play in the league, and that's quite a gap this deep into the season.
It's funny, though, Dave, I look back at some old stats. In the 80s, the bad teams in the league were 22% on the power play, and the tops were like 35, 38%. That's how much, systems and penalty kills
and goaltending.
Yeah, and goaltending have changed in the National Hockey League.
I would imagine some of those Montreal power plays that you were part of those teams in the late 70s, Brian, had to have some incredible power play numbers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I had a great seat to watch them, too.
And we got a penalty here, I believe, against the Sharks. Or, excuse me, against the Canucks as the puck came into the zone. And that's going to negate the remaining 50 seconds on this power play. It's Burrows.
Well, when you're struggling, a lot of times puck retrieval and just getting set up is one of the problems. And Burrows reaching a little bit. You can see his reaction there. Ooh, that's a penalty? Well, it is. So 4-on-4. Some open ice here for both teams. And Vancouver in a defensive mind here, but partly, big part, because the face-off is in their own end. Manny Malhotra, who's a real pro at the face-off circle, comes out for that one and wins it cleanly.
So 4-on-4 as Malhotra across the line. Here is Mason Raymond with it. Raymond, who had that horrific injury that he sustained in the Stanley Cup final when he cracked a vertebrae.
Yeah, it's good to see Raymond back. He had so much speed there. So now he plays with Kessler and Higgins. That line can fly. They're really good in the corners and the forecheck. And then you also, in 4-on-4 situations like this, look at Raymond.
Raymond got it to the forehand and forced Niemi to make a save. Now a pass across intercepted by Thornton. He goes up the middle, look out, picked off by Higgins. Higgins with a backhand shot, save made by Niemi on the rebound. Still at the top of the blue paint, and Niemi has the glove on it. And boy, the Sharks, Brian, you said this earlier, they've been guilty of a couple of blatant turnovers.
And that was Joe Thornton again. We saw one before where he had to make a good defensive play to make up for his own turnover. And this one is in the middle of the ice. Joe Thornton steals the puck there. It gets crossed up with Boyle a little bit. And because of that, he's stuck in front of his own net on the backhand. He tries to go up the ice, up the middle of the ice. If you're going to do that, little flip passes won't work. You got to fire it hard and get it out of the zone. It gives Vancouver another scoring chance.
Douglas Murray set to come out of the box. There will still be 1:11 remaining in the Burroughs minor when Douglas Murray steps out. So San Jose will go to work as of right now on their first power play of this game, trailing the Canucks 1-0. Yannick Hansen's 12th of the year from Cody Hodgson. All the scoring we've had so far with just over 1.5 minutes remaining here in the first period. There's Marlowe now. Takes it down low, gets it back to Thornton. Wanted to go back to Marlowe in the corner. Out to the point for Boyle. Winds up, didn't have the shooting lane. Little flip pass now for Thornton. Thornton takes a look. Pass in front. What a stop there by Luongo. Terrific passing play. Set up that opportunity for Dan Boyle.
Pavelski was open on the back door too, but they couldn't get it through to him.
Now Thornton has it on the near side. Sharks tied for 14th in the league. And a power play efficiency coming in.
That was a good scoring chance there, too, in the pass from Thornton to Boyle. Boyle one-timed it, but good stick positioning by Kessler. The fake at the point, they get it down to Thornton. You got Marlowe in good position. And the quick one-time tic-tac-toe passing down low and right out to Dan Boyle moving in. They got a good scoring chance there, and then another one right after that.
Canucks win this draw. LaPierre takes a look and now sends it all the way down the ice. And what do we got? The official spotting something. I think one of the Sharks got a stick up, and that is Tim Peel, the referee who's coming over to make the call.
Yeah, LaPierre got a high stick right up in the face from Demers. Referee Tim Peel came over to see if he was bleeding, if LaPierre was bleeding, but he wasn't. Here's LaPierre taking the long shot, and there's Demers with the stick up. A little too high. Again, needless penalties, bad penalties against a good power play. That's one of the stories of this first period for San Jose. It's not good.
So Demers 2 minutes for high sticking. And once again, 4 skaters aside until Burroughs comes out. And then the Canucks will get their third power play already in this game. And there still will be a little bit of time remaining on the clock. Here in the first is Jesus with a wrist shot that's blocked up high on the netting and out of play. Coming up in our first intermission here on the NBC Sports Network, it'll be Liam, JR, and Keith talking about Vancouver's varied attack and Winter Classic highlights. So JR working all over the network today. He was down in Philadelphia for part of the Winter Classic coverage on NBC, and a tip of the hat to the entire crew. Just a great job. We had an opportunity, Brian, to watch it up until the Brad Richards go-ahead goal that made it 3-2, and a lot of great stuff happened, I guess, after that.
Yeah, it was a great spectacle again. Boys did a great job. The game was terrific. Fans loved it, as usual.
No power play here for the final 20 seconds of the period for Vancouver as Daniel Sedin sends it back to the line. Edler returns it to Daniel. Daniel Sedin pulls it back, trying to change the angle. You were talking about stats, Brian, and whether you believe numbers. The Vancouver Canucks, just a terrific first period team. And 20 of their 24 wins have come when they score the first goal, which they have done here. The only goal of the first period scored by Yannick Hansen, as Luongo was perfect, stopping just the 6 shots that the San Jose Sharks managed against him. 1-0 Canucks at the end of 20 minutes. Liam, Keith, and Jeremy are back at the NBC Sports Network studios right after this. Back at Rogers Arena, downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, 1-0 Vancouver at the end of 20 minutes of play. As you look at Jason Demers, who starts the second period in the box. Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom. So the Sharks, Brian, once again, shorthanded.
Yeah, and Patrick Marleau will be out there. Patrick Marleau used to play a lot of center, Dave, but he's played exclusively almost left wing since Todd McClellan took over as coach in 08-09. In that time, he's the third leading goal scorer in the entire National Hockey League since 08-09. Only Stamkos and Ovechkin are ahead of him.
Wow. That's a trivia question. I don't think a lot of people would get right.
No, I know.
Yeah.
You forget. You forget how effective and how regularly he has scored over the years.
Vancouver's third power play. They are 0 for 2. As Kessler hands it off to Daniel Sedin. Now the Canucks go to work as they set it up. Edler, well, the shot doesn't get through. It was blocked by Douglas Murray. Bounces back in toward Niemi, and he will cover it there.
And we talked a lot about the penalty kill of San Jose and how they've sort of regrouped and everything, and how Todd McClellan had said, yeah, we're designating some other guys to come in and play roles on penalty kill. But I looked at the minutes played by the big guns on the penalty kill for San Jose in that first period, and it was the big guns. As we take a look at the block here by Murray to get that last whistle. Good job in front of the net as they covered up. Then it was Pavelski and Couture and Marleau that were getting most of the ice time, and not Desjardins so far anyway.
Shallow with a drive, tipped by Daniel Sedin up high on the glass. And Pavelski will send it down the ice. One of the other things Todd McClellan mentioned to us, Brian, was how important decision-making is, especially against this Vancouver team. And he said we've gotten away with making some poor decisions against Vancouver, but it's not, you know, well we want to go to too often.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked to him too about why are they, you know, 1-1-9 or 1-9-1, excuse me, against Vancouver. And he said, well, a lot of his special teams, he said, it's been a long time since we've won the special teams battle in any given game. If we're lucky, we end up even in the game, and we've been beaten several times at it.
Now Couture takes it wide, gets the shot away up on Luongo, and he stops it there. Let's go inside the glass with Brian Engblom.
In today's National Hockey League, you have to get scoring from your defense. You have to get production. The Vancouver Canucks are always up at the top of the food chain in that department. Nothing different this year. They've got 96 points from their defensemen. Edler leads the way. Kevin Bieksa has done a great job for them as well, too. Kevin Bieksa is on his second 6-game point scoring streak, and that obviously helps in a big way. San Jose, on the other hand, only had 61 points.
Yeah.
So that's 96 compared to 61 for San Jose, which really kind of shocked me, Dave, when I added it up. When you see Burns and Boyle in the lineup on defense for San Jose, you think it would be more. Todd McClellan talked about that too, and he said, I have to say that special teams probably would be a big difference there too, and why they have more than our guys.
Bieksa's down, he can't get back up, and the Sharks able to take advantage and score.
Ben Ferrio in front of the net there, and Bieksa is hurt. Bieksa's still down on his knees. He took that shot, couldn't recover. The play went on, obviously. Oh, and he is really struggling to get back up on his feet. But good pressure by San Jose, and there's the block by Bieksa. I think that hit him in the knee, too. Very similar to Couture. He lifted his leg, and I think it hit him on the inside of the knee. And he was completely crippled. You can see that he couldn't function at all. And when he looked up, Ferrio was in the act of scoring a goal. It's hard to pick it up there. Ferrio maintains his position, and he's smart. And a good alert pass by Ryan Clough, realizing that Bieksa was down on the ice, and quickly got it out in front of the net to Ferrio. Heads up play there by Clough. Yeah, it's the left knee that Bieksa is favoring big time. I think the knee was bent. He had it up in the air, and I think it hit right on sort of the point of the knee, missing the shin pad.
Well, we've seen how blocking shots can be so dangerous. Just ask James Wisniewski. The shot he blocked recently and suffered a broken ankle that thankfully doesn't require surgery, but he's going to be out for a bit.
You're required to block shots. Everybody is in the National Hockey League. It's a big part of the game.
He gives up a rebound. Here is Kessler getting to it. Ferrio, that's his third goal of the season. And Ferrio playing in just his 9th game up from Worcester, the American Hockey League, as Flo and Couture get the assist. That's a great example of a guy that needs to fill in the absence of Marty Havlat.
Yeah, and Ferrio being on that top line, he has to produce sometimes. He can't just be in the corners all the time and getting pucks out for Pavelski and Thornton, because he spent a lot of time on that line. He's got to be able to produce. He's got to get some chances. They need production. Otherwise, you don't stay on the first line.
Now a long pass deflects into the San Jose zone. Jason Demers turns it right back the other way. Pavelski gets a stick on it. And Ebbett has it now and hands it off for Cody Hodgson. Hodgson now for Salo. Ahead for Hansen. The linesman got in the way there. Delayed offside. They'll wave it off as the Canucks went back and tagged up. Now Thornton sends it across. Demers taken down in the neutral zone. Going to be a tripping penalty here against Andrew Ebbett. The NHL is on the NBC Sports Network. And tomorrow at 7 Eastern, the Red Wings take on the Stars. And then Wednesday, the Bruins battle the Devils. Coverage begins at 6:30 with NHL 36 featuring Patrice Bergeron. The NHL is on the NBC Sports Network.
That's Andrew Ebbett sitting in the penalty box. DeBurs comes up and makes a nice play in the neutral zone. A little shift from his right to his left. And Ebbett reached out and took his feet out from underneath.
Power play is brought to you by Verizon 4G. On control by the Sharks. Here is Boyle. He hammers one in wide. Couture gets to it. So the San Jose Sharks, 0 for 1 on the power play in this game, have an opportunity to take the lead for the first time. As Demers back for Boyle. Now it goes to Clough. Clough sends it back. Boyle doesn't shoot, goes back to Ryan Clough, backhands it across. Now Demers for Couture, down in tight quarters, and it is covered up by Luongo.
Nothing fancy about that one. San Jose moved the puck around a little, but sometimes you just have to get it into the paint and have nothing fancy about it. Logan Couture was in there. He's willing to stand in. He's their leading goal scorer for the month of December, or was, at 9 goals, which is not a huge number, but definitely consistent production. And Couture was able to sort of back his way into the paint there and try to get a second and third whack at it, but Luongo did a good job of shutting him off.
Now the draw control by the Canucks as Albert's got it to center ice. Boyle slides it back across. Here's Marleau on the move. That was broken up. And again, Boyle and Burns, you mentioned them, Brian, they don't often play together at even strength, but very often on this power play they will, although both right-hand shooting defensemen.
Yeah, they like to spread it out. They're up now.
Oh, great opportunity there for Marleau that was set up by the speed and creativity of Burns. But now Alberts will send it down the ice. And when you look at the NHL stat sheet that lists the top 30 scoring defensemen, and you don't see either one of those guys.
I know. It really was. It really jumped out at me when I saw the point totals for Van and for San Jose.
Boyle got one through the Luongo steered aside. Now here is Thornton with it. Hands it off to Pavelski. Now in front for an opportunity for Boyle. That was stopped by Luongo. Pavelski gets it back to Boyle. Brings it far side. Here is Thornton. Wanted to set it up for Pavelski. Good read and a good stick there by Salo. And a nice recovery by Boyle. Gets it to the front. Here's Marleau. Waiting. Sends it across for a shot. What did that get? Luongo has it.
Joe Thornton shaking his head. He can't believe it. He had a gaping open net. He just had to go in the upper portion of the net, and it was a goal. But Roberto Luongo, who's had a tremendous month of December, is carrying it on into January here, and he just robs Thornton. Watch Thornton, bottom of your screen, 19. Look at that little chip pass across there. And Luongo, desperation. Look at Marleau's touch. Look at the narrow window that Patrick Marleau had to put that puck through, and he threaded it through. Alberts was down and out with no stick. He had given his stick away to Manny Malhotra. So many things going on there, but ultimately it was Luongo.
Down low, now a centering attempt for Ferrio. Back to the line, Braun with a shot. That was knocked away. Braun hands it again, couple seconds remaining on this power play. Ebbett stepping out of the box as it is sent in wide. That was a shot pass. They were looking for Ferrio's stick there. Ferrio, who has the San Jose goal in this 1-1 contest. The puck is sent back the other way.
And Dave, that was one of those power play opportunities where, you know, San Jose just hasn't come through often enough, again, especially against these Vancouver Canucks. Todd McClellan having said, we've been beaten on the special teams end of it so many times. That was a golden opportunity for Thornton. He just looked up at the ceiling and went, you're kidding me. Luongo's been hot. He had a terrific month of December. Was he 9-3-3, I believe? And he's also in the running tied with Henrik Sedin for the local 3 stars of the game here in home games. So Luongo, after some controversy again, which he's not unfamiliar with, has been fantastic in December.
Well, he got off to a slow start, then he got hurt, then he sat a few games in favor of Corey Schneider, who played well. But since Luongo's come back, and Alain Vigneault didn't mince any words, even when there was some talk about is Corey Schneider the guy that they should be going to, and should they try to trade Luongo in his big contract. Alain Vigneault said he is our guy.
Well, and that goes a long way, obviously, because if he had even hedged it a little bit, then you know what Luongo's thinking because of all the pressure that's happened here over the last couple of years, and obviously culminated in the finals last year in their loss to the Bruins.
Now Bieksa plays it around on the near side. Daniel Sedin with it. He tries that set play. Usually it's for him, but he sets it up for Mason Raymond. Usually it's Henrik that throws it down for Daniel, who's streaking down the ice. Now Henrik behind the net sets it up here for a chance that just missed on the long side against Niemi. And Daniel Sedin with it again. Sends it to the front through traffic, deflected wide. Henrik Sedin. To Daniel. Tries to throw it to the front. It's picked off, and Brent Burns hands it off now to Michael Jesus, and he'll send it back into the Vancouver end. Cody Hobson hands it off to Alex Edler. Edler across the line, hammers one that is blocked up on the netting and out of play. 1-1 our score, Sharks and the Canucks. After Vancouver's loss in LA, Henrik Sedin was asked if LA was pushing them around. He said, you know what, I'm pretty tired of that question. We won the President's Trophy last year, went to the 7th game of the final. We didn't lose the final because we were pushed around. We lost because we couldn't score. I'm not to say we're as tough as anybody else. We're taking hits, giving hits, and that's the bottom line. So Henrik Sedin,
a little sensitive because of that. And I understand because, you know, I admire both the Sedin boys because they stand in there all the time and always answer all of the questions. And a lot of times they're pointed directly at them. And they have to also defend the team. And that went right through the Stanley Cup Finals last year. And, you know, every once in a while you're going to get tired of it. And I think it was great for the team to see him get angry. I really do.
On to Jardin. Had his stick lifted by Ebbett. They continue to battle deep in the San Jose zone. Braun has it. Pulls it off the boards and out the center ice.
You know what? I said earlier, Dave, I wouldn't mind either Henrik or Daniel when somebody's, you know, just pushed it way too far, just hauling off and giving somebody a snap sometime. I think his teammates would love it. We have an offside here. I think his teammates would love it. And every once in a while, you just got to take that aggression out and you got to stand up for yourself a little bit. He takes, you know, he walks away from it. That's his nature and that's the way it is. And his theory is, we'll hurt you on the power play. And they're the #1 power play, so he's got a heck of an argument there. But if somebody was in his face literally and just yapping and constantly pushing and he just hauled up and smacked somebody, I think it would go a long way.
Going to be icing here against the Canucks as they try that long pass, and it's Dan Boyle that's back to touch it up to a face-off coming back into the Vancouver zone.
It's been a pretty deliberate second period here. The emotions down a little bit, not the big hitting. We saw a lot of hits in the first period. It's a little more systematic out there right now.
Hocher wins that draw cleanly. Vlasic held it in for the Sharks. And Hughes plays it up the near side. Couture got a stick on it. Sends it back to Ryan Clough. Ferrio playing now with Clough and Couture. Back the other way now. LaPierre. Little flip pass for Dale Weiss. Clough trying to clear it up the far side. LaPierre comes in on Clough. Doesn't like that very much.
I would say the board play has gone mostly to the Vancouver Canucks in this game.
Now Luongo for Bieksa, who drops it off for Burrows. Now the two top lines going head-to-head once again, and Marleau is back up there with the two Joes. Patrick Marleau, who did not have a shot on goal in that first period. Of course, the Sharks as a team only had 7. Marleau across the line. Nice feed for Pavelski. Backhand shot. Steered aside by Luongo. Thornton gets to it again straight away. Burns with a chance on a glove save by Luongo. As Burrows giving it to Pavelski.
Good save by Roberto Luongo, who's been very sharp. He moved out to the top of the paint there and just snared that one right out of the air. And Joe Thornton in this game has had his problems. He's had his issues. He's had a couple of turnovers. This one he completely turned over. Watch him get back though and make a good defensive play. Here's another turnover. He got caught in a tough spot. Had to scramble defensively and helped out in that respect. And then here's the great scoring chance that he had on the power play. And he wasn't able to get that one past Roberto Luongo. And then Burns on that last shot from the point, snapped that one, and Luongo just looks really good, really solid, and really confident in that.
Makes another stop there after a face-off win by the San Jose Sharks, who have a significant advantage in shots on goal here in this second period, as Niemi is going to cover this up. 14-2, the shots on goal favoring San Jose here in the second period, and they had the only goal of the second period. Ben Ferrio just a minute 34 seconds in. Well, on February 2nd, join Bob Costas for the debut of an all-new show you won't find anywhere else. Costas Tonight, the stories and interviews that define the state of sport, only on the NBC Sports Network.
Dave, I think all these face-offs in the second period are better for San Jose as well, too. They're a good face-off team, as is Vancouver, but I just think when the pace slows down for periods of time, it favors San Jose more than Vancouver. Vancouver likes that tempo game, the fast breakouts, the turnover of lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there hasn't been nearly as much of that here in the second period.
Now the Canucks, even with that face-off win by San Jose, still with a decided advantage in this game. Canucks have won 20 of the 29 draws. Sedin across the line. Ends it back to Henrik. In front for an opportunity by Ballard that was blocked. Canucks defenseman hands it again.
That was Handzus with the block.
Now Daniel for Henrik. Back to the line. Here's Edler. He slides it across for Ballard. Back to Edler. Long one-timer. Then skipped up high on the glass. Now it comes to Daniel Sedin again. Out high. And his pass is picked off by Boyle. Head up all the way across the line. Boyle waiting now for some reinforcements as the other four skaters went to the bench for a change. Now Thornton and company come out back to Boyle for a shot. Redirected by Pavelski. Good job by Edler to stay on Pavelski. Braun puts it back in front. Rebound, score! There's Patrick Marleau backhanding it home. And the San Jose Sharks have a 2-1 lead.
Well, Patrick Marleau is a goal scorer, no doubt, and he knows just how to feel the open spots on the ice. Sometimes it's about backing away from that net, not being right on top of the goaltender, and Marleau just gets himself in good position. It's good work down low, and Marleau throws the puck along the wall, and then he'll just get out into the slot area. The puck comes and a rebound, and Marleau on the backhand is able to shovel it. There's the shot from the point. And a nice job there by Marleau of finding the handle. Ballard is out against him. Ballard doesn't tie his stick up, doesn't realize where the puck is. Ballard doesn't. Marleau does, and he puts it in. Up 2-1 now, San Jose.
And Marleau now with points in 7 of the last 8 games has a little bit of a consistent stretch going here. That'll be a hand pass against the Vancouver Canucks, as Patrick Marleau has scored his 14th goal of the season to give San Jose a 2-1 lead.
Welcome back to Vancouver. Todd, early in the game, it seemed like penalties were an issue for you guys. Do you feel like you got on the other side of that and sort of dodged a bullet there?
Well, I sure hope we have, because they've got such important power play. We don't need to be killing a whole lot. Our kill gave us a little bit of confidence. We've struggled there a little bit this season, but they came out and played well, and maybe we got a little momentum from it.
Yeah, you've grabbed the lead now. What has to happen from this point on?
We have to continue playing with the game plan. We can't give up any outnumbered rushes. Pucks have to go in deep, and we have to work them in the corners in their zone.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Brian.
And one of the other things Todd McClellan told Brian and I before the game was the number 3 is important. He said he talked to the guys right before the game about that. Trying to get to 3 goals and trying to prevent Vancouver from getting to that 3. This seems to have been a key number. And I think that's true of a lot of matchups in today's NHL, Brian, the way the good team holds you at around 2 goals.
Yeah, for sure. I think some coaches have even said it's almost a race to 3 goals.
Yeah.
Whoever gets there first seems to end up winning most of the game.
And probably not a coincidence that The first two meetings between these teams ended 3-2 in favor of Vancouver. Both of those games in San Jose. Ron and Pavelski got the assist on the goal by Marleau.
And even though it seems when these two teams play that San Jose likes to force the issue when it comes to being a little nasty, try to get Vancouver off their game. Vancouver takes a lot of penalties, Dave. There's a big shot from Raymond, but Vancouver has taken 200 more minutes in penalties than San Jose has this year. That's incredible.
Yeah. That flip pass, that's going to be offside, and Winchester wasn't sure that the whistle was coming, so he let it go. Time now for our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. And take a look at San Jose since the start of the 2010-11 season against Vancouver. 2-7-2, including losing in 5 games in the Western Conference Final. Henrik Sedin 19 points against San Jose since 10-11. That's the most in the NHL, including playoffs. The last 5 games between these two teams decided by a goal.
And Henrik Sedin was 3rd star of the month in December for the entire National Hockey League. They gave the most points, 22 points in 1 month. Not bad.
Now here's Ebbett with a shot that skips wide of Niemi. Edler with a shot. He tried to go high there on the San Jose goaltender and missed the net. Ballard had it knocked away, but gets it back in the line and keeps it in, puts it up high on the glass. Douglas Murray. Desjardins pressured. Now Andrew Murray will play it back the other way.
Well, we talked about the 96 points from the D-men of Vancouver right up at the top of the National Hockey League. Todd McClellan well aware of that too, and he made his team well aware of it. He said you can't let the Vancouver defensemen activate and get in the rush and come in late, and then obviously get those big bomb shots from the point. It works in 2 different areas. Salo's got a huge shot. Bieksa's got a great shot. Edler's got a great shot. So San Jose's done a really good job of keeping track of the Vancouver defense offensively.
Here's Bieksa, we mentioned, coming in with that 16-point streak, the second 6-game point streak for the Vancouver defenseman this season.
Yeah, he was active offensively a couple of seasons ago. Bieksa had a lot of goals. Last year, not as much. That wasn't really his role. But now with no Christian Ehrhoff having gone to the Buffalo Sabres, I think he stepped it up a little bit offensively. Still gives you a good 2-way game. Bieksa didn't have a great start to the year, but I think you look at the way he battled and how hard he played in the playoffs. I think maybe it was just hard for him to get up for the games, in October. When you're battling in such short spaces and literally fighting for every inch, it's hard to play those games in October, but he's back on it now.
Under 6.5 remaining here in the second period. Vancouver Canucks, we mentioned their record over the last 20 games. It moved up to second in the West, only to the conference-leading Chicago Blackhawks. The San Jose team is play starts tonight below the playoff line in 10th place. But as we mentioned at the very top of the show, a little deceiving because they've played the fewest games in the league. Here's Thornton, walks through everyone, and a right pass saved by Luongo. Here's Boyle with another one. Boy, that is twice Luongo has absolutely robbed Joe Thornton here in this second period.
He's got his number. Dan Hamhuis blew a tire just inside the blue line, and that's what allowed Thornton to walk in.
Rolling puck, Niemi, and he holds it long enough to get the whistle. Joe Thornton was stopped early in this period with a wide open net on a power play. Here he has an opportunity again to make things even with Luongo. Luongo says nope.
Watch the Vancouver blue line here as Ben Ferriero, 78, moves across there, and then Dan Hamhuis gets hung up with him a little right there. He spins around and tries to dive at Thornton. That's what gave Thornton the extra room. Bieksa thought Hamhuis was there. Hamhuis wasn't there, and Thornton walked in and got robbed by Luongo.
Now the Canucks try to keep some pressure in the San Jose zone. The Sharks able to clear. Dave Strader in the broadcast booth, Brian Engblom at ice level. The rest of our crew here on the NBC Sports Network. Glad you're along with us. What a day it's been for hockey. A terrific Winter Classic.
That was a great game. Physical game, too. The Classic.
Here's Henrik Sedin now. Gets it right to the front. It is blocked out to the line. And that's blocked by Clough. Burrows turns it back the other way as they send it in deep. Well, back to the line. I think, Brian, the NHL hit another home run, if I can use that analogy, since the game was played in the baseball park.
Oh, yeah.
With the whole week, including that alumni game. I thought the alumni game was just terrific with the reception that the fans, 42,000 or whatever it was, there to see Bernie Perrant and all those guys.
Bernie Perrant, oh, he stole the show. Played about 5 minutes there. That was outstanding. So many great names in the past playing in that old-timers game. Outstanding.
Now McGinn's going to get down here on the race for the puck. Ballard trying to keep an eye on him. Here is Mitchell with it. Albert steps into him. Just over 4 minutes remaining here in the second period. Sharks with a 2-1 lead. They've got both goals here in the second period. Mitchell taken to the boards hard there by Alberts. Jason Raymond couldn't control that pass out to the line. Here's Demers. Along the boards behind the line on the far side. Big collision there. Alberts and Pavelski. Alberts delivered a couple of big hits here tonight. Jason Raymond gets it deep into the shift though. So Raymond, Kessler, and Higgins head to the bench. Joe Thornton, a giveaway again. Here is Hodgson coming in alone. And a save by Niemi. Nearly came back out in front of the San Jose net. That's at least 3, Brian. The blatant giveaways by Jumbo Joe.
Blatant, yeah. Thornton was, he's winging it out there, and he saw Demers jumping up on the play, wanted to give it to him, but he just wasn't careful. He was so fixated on his own player, he's not seeing the opposing players. That happens some nights.
Here is Winchester now for the Sharks across the line. Sends it in deep. Drew Murray battling there for the Sharks against Cody Hodgson as Hamhuis comes over to help out. Douglas Murray drives it right back into the Vancouver zone. Under 3 minutes now remaining here for the second period. Yannick Hansen sends it around to the far side. LaPierre to the corner for Malhotra. Rolls off of his stick. Justin Braun will chase it down. He took a hit from LaPierre, trying to force a turnover there. LaPierre comes back, steps into him again. Well, Malhotra sets it up on the far side, and this shot doesn't get all the way through off the stick of Dale Weiss. He sends it back to the point.
Boy, the puck's rolling more than it's lying flat.
The delayed offside as the Extra tried to hold that puck in, but he wasn't successful. Now the Sharks send it back the other way. Edler missed him coming across. He's plays it out to center ice. Classic rolls it back into the Canucks zone under 2 minutes remaining. Period number 2. Sedin, Vlasic steps into him, but the Canuck captain sends it across it, just skipped over the stick of Salo, who had moved in from the left point.
Yeah, the Vancouver D are starting to activate a little bit more now. They got San Jose sitting back on their heels, and San Jose trying to protect this 1-goal lead so far. Watch this last turnover by Joe Thornton. Gives it to Hodgson. Hodgson all alone, and he gets stoned. What happens sometimes, though, when you have the puck and everything is happening quickly around you, Joe Thornton sees spaces, he sees opportunities, he sees his line mates, but what he's not seeing sometimes is the opposing players. And he's handed it right to them 3 different times. That was the worst one.
So Kessler and Pavelski. The center ice face-off of the Canucks control. Here is Higgins with it. Higgins with a rush shot that may have hit off of his line mate, Jason Raymond, who was cutting for the front of the net. Now back to the line. Stallo with a shot that's blocked out to center ice, and Thornton has it there.
I'd have to say, too, Dave, that if there was anybody other than Joe Thornton, you might be riding the end of the pine by now after big turnovers like that. But they know how important the guy is and what he can give them, and he's still out there.
Minute of this second period now is Kessler hoisting one in wide of Niemi. Burns plays it up the far side. That bounced off of one of the Sharks. And with a whistle here, we take a look at our Ford update as we focus in on the 2 captains, the 2 center icemen that have gone head-to-head quite a bit tonight. You see their ice time fairly even, as well as the number of shifts, each player with a couple of shots on goal.
Joe Thornton's had to kill some penalty time, so that's always more taxing than power play, and Henrik's been on the good side of that. He's had a lot of power play time, especially in that first period when San Jose took those four penalties.
Miami decides to cover this up as Vlasic, the defenseman, wasn't too sure whether he should try to make a play with that puck.
Well, both goaltenders have made some big saves in this game, keeping their teams in it. It's a 2-1 hockey game for San Jose. Joe Thornton said chances. Miami bailed Joe Thornton out just a moment ago when Cody Hodgson had that turnover and walked right down the pipe. That could have been a huge boost for Vancouver and tied it up possibly at the end of a second period. But Miami bails out Thornton.
Henrik Sedin won the draw. Burrows tried to jam one from a difficult angle. Now Henrik Sedin has it again. Sends it out to the line. Bieksa. Long wrist shot sails in wide of the San Jose goal. Again, there's only been 5 games this season when all 3 of these players on this top line for the Canucks have been held off the score sheet. 3 of those were shutout losses.
This is a little dangerous here, I think, Dave. San Jose's in such a defensive mode. This looks like they're killing a penalty. You sit back against a Vancouver team that's the highest scoring team. There's a lot of stuff going on in front of the net. Looks like we're going to get some penalties. Oh, yeah. Is that Burrows? I think it just went down hard. I'm not sure who the defenseman was. I was blocked out here, but San Jose just really, it looked like they were a man short, playing so much positional play in the middle of the ice and allowing Vancouver to move the puck around. To me, that's dangerous. You still got a whole nother period. I realize they have a 1-goal lead. Look at Burrows go to the front of the net against Marc-Edouard Vlasic. His stick came down across the side of the face of Vlasic. That got Vlasic angry. Burrows doesn't care. Vlasic doesn't care. Oh, that's some pretty good fencing there. That's everything but jousting. Good in-your-face stuff there between Vlasic and Burrows. And they're going to...
The officials let it all go, Brian. There aren't going to be any penalties on either side.
Yeah, I don't see.
Well, stay tuned for the Discover Cars second intermission. Liam McHugh, Keith Jones, Jeremy Roenick. And they'll talk Couture's San Jose style. And can the Blackhawks stay hot?
I'm still waiting here, too. Whether they called penalties or not, I believe they did. It's confusing here.
Oh, yeah.
Both coaching staffs were sort of, what's going on here? Because I saw Vlasic come to the bench. I thought maybe they were just sending him off to the room. And same thing with Burrows because nobody is in the penalty box. That's what it is. 2 and 2. They each got 2. They just were escorted off the ice.
All right. Well, that explains that. And we will have 4 skaters aside here for the last 11 seconds. Sallow has to hammer one in on Niemi. It's deflected to the corner, and that's going to do it for this second period that was dominated by the San Jose Sharks in terms of shots on goal. And they got the only 2 goals of the period past Roberto Luongo, Ben Ferrio's 3rd, and Patrick Marleau with his 14th. So the Sharks, who are 0-2 so far head-to-head against Vancouver, looking for their first win in this season series, they still have to do it in the 3rd period. The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And welcome back. Part of the crowd here at Rogers Arena, 381st consecutive sellouts. And there's Henrik Sedin along with his twin brother Daniel, who'll be out here to start this 3rd period with each team having a man in the box. Brian, 4 skaters aside. This is an opportunity for the Sedins to be even more dangerous. There you see the guys in the penalty box. And again, both of these guys, along with Burrows, have been held off the score sheet so far.
Yeah, Henrik Sedin came in with 46 points, tied at the top of the National Hockey League, and Daniel Sedin just a couple of points behind. This is Sedin time, all right. More open ice, and they've had a heck of a December.
Edler behind his own net. Being pressured, gets the long stretch pass ahead for Daniel. 1-on-1 against Douglas Murray. Fakes, goes to the backhander, trying to slide it through the 5-hole of Niemi, who had no idea where that puck was after he made the save. Now the Sedins go to work again, along with Sallow and Edler.
And the defense for Vancouver, not afraid to get engaged. You can see Sallow move down low in the offensive zone and was in no rush to get back.
Henrik with it again on the corner, being watched by Dan Boyle. Off his stick and out to center ice. 45 seconds remaining in the coincidental minors as this play is called offside.
One of the things the Sedins do really well is leave the zone at the right time. Look at Edler. Control the puck and under pressure, thread that through. It was dangerous, but Dan Boyle didn't do a very good job of keeping track of Daniel Sedin. Sedin, one of the most dangerous scorers in the league, tried to fake the shot, and Emmy did a really nice job of staying with him, but Dan Boyle realized way too late that Sedin was leaving the zone, and it forced Murray to come all the way from the far side of the ice and try to shut down Daniel Sedin, giving Sedin a lot of time and room there.
Here is Higgins now, still a half minute remaining in those 4-on-4 situation. Bouncing puck, Kessler chases it down. Kessler, a little pass to himself off the boards. Pressured by Demers. And Hughes gets a stick on it for the Canucks. Gets a stick on it again for Higgins. Higgins lobs it back out on the far side. Bieksa fakes the shot, still controlled. Still stick handling, then knocked off his feet by Demers, who's going to be called for a trip.
Some pretty fancy stick handling there from Kevin Bieksa, who came late on the play, and Higgins did a nice job of delaying and then just throwing the puck into a spot. And Bieksa moves in, makes a series of fakes and a couple of left to right moves, dancing around. Demers takes his feet out from underneath him. Kevin Bieksa was about to make a nice play back to Higgins for a potential goal. So another chance here for Vancouver Canucks.
You got a defenseman going down to try to take away a pass and a shot. As this power play is brought to you by Verizon 4G. We see defensemen do that all the time, Brian. Do you have a problem at all with that call on Demers?
I don't like it, no. I think you should be able to go down and make plays like that.
On the side of the net, Niemi able to stop Sedin as Vlasic and Burrows coincidental minors end, so the 4-on-3 power play becomes a 5-on-4. Daniel Sedin angles it out on the far side. Now to Salo for a one-timer that hit Douglas Murray in front.
Yeah, that hit him right in the chest or the arm. He went down. He really sacrificed himself there.
Now Salo drops it back. Power play number 4 for the Vancouver Canucks. As Daniel Sedin settles it down now. Back to the point for Salo. Sends it far side. One-timer is kicked out of there as Henrik Sedin is high-sticked here, and it's going to be a 5-on-3 with 1:09 still remaining in the Demers penalty.
Well, Todd McClellan said when I interviewed him in the second period that he was hoping that they were on the other side of all these penalties.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently not. Here comes Burns with the stick. Oh, that just literally tore the helmet right off of Sedin. There was no doubt about that call. And it's going to be a timeout call here by the Vancouver bench. They're going to talk about it. And those are two defensemen setting in the box, too.
Yeah, exactly.
For San Jose.
Yeah, Demers and Burns in the San Jose penalty box. Well, there is Todd McClellan as he's trying to draw things up, Brian. As a defenseman, what are you primarily thinking about when you're on that two-man short situation facing a power play like Vancouver?
Well, you have to keep track of the biggest scorers. I'm always a big believer in that. Yeah, you only have 3 guys out there, but you have to try to choose your poison when you can and make sure you're aware of where Daniel Sedin is in particular. Sammy Salo has been more involved offensively. They're going to try and get the puck in the middle of the net, in the middle of the ice rather, and get those big bombs coming from the point to loosen them up, I would think, and then start moving the puck east-west. So you really are going to have to read the play. I don't think you can come out with any one single thought in your mind.
Huge face-off win by Marlowe as that puck is hammered all the way down the ice.
That's big because San Jose was not doing well in the face-off circle. After 2 periods, Vancouver was winning 63% of the draws. That was a huge one.
Here is Henrik Sedin, hands it off for Daniel. They gain the zone with still 50 seconds remaining in the 2-man advantage. Here is Salo. He hammers one. Great pass save made by Niemi. Daniel Sedin with a shot pass. He was looking for a stick. Now it's picked up by Henrik. Back to Daniel with a shot. That is steered aside. Now Salo and Daniel Sedin switch places. Salo with a shot. That was blocked, and Marlowe wasn't sure where it was after it hit him.
Yeah. I'm not sure. San Jose is getting away with it here, but I think they got to be up tighter to those two shooters, Sedin and Sallows. You can't give them that many chances from prime scoring area in the middle of the ice. I know they're 0 for so far, but if you keep going back to that well, one of them's going to blow one in from there.
Boy, great job by the Sharks to keep that puck along the wall and then clear it out of there, and the penalty to Demers has just 5 seconds remaining in it. We were looking at 1:09 of a 2-man advantage for the #1 power play in the league, and they have dodged that bullet. As Demers comes out, he gets a stick on it. We're down to 45 seconds left in the Burns minor penalty. Daniel Sedin puts it up on the boards and behind Niemi. Douglas Murray lost it. Centering pass bounced off of Niemi. And Andrews back the other way. As the center goes off the skate, Andrews gets it back. Canucks had 4 shots on goal during the 5-on-3.
But this is not the Vancouver power play that we've seen at earlier times in the year that just moves the puck around with great confidence, take their shots at will, and has that feel that they're going to score. It doesn't feel like that right now.
Burns is out of the box. Mason Raymond turns with it to the forehand. That just off at Niemi.
Yeah, that just hit him. He just went down. I don't think he ever saw it until it hit him in the shoulder.
Now Bieksa fakes, winds up, now he lets it go. It's blocked by Braun. Desjardins pressured by Mason Raymond. Able to get it ahead for Logan Couture, and he'll send it deep into the Vancouver zone.
Well, that's a tremendous sequence there on the penalty kill for San Jose. That's game-saving stuff when you're down 5-on-3 like that, and then 5-on-4 for a few more seconds.
Weiss with it now, rolls it in on Niemi, and he will cover it there. Now, you were talking about Patrick Marleau earlier tonight, and the fact that he has quietly scored so many goals over the last few years, but he also has blocked some shots.
Yeah, he's had a lot of penalty kill time, and look at that. Look at the precision in that. He didn't even know where it was. That literally hit the point of his skate and sort of ricocheted back and forth between the two skates. And then there's the save by Niemi, who went down, and the way he reacted on it, I think he was blocked out by his own defenseman, but his positioning was good to hit him in the shoulder.
Demers plays it ahead. Andrews poked away by Ballard. Hodgson plays it ahead now for Jannik Hansen. Good stick by Douglas Murray prevented Hansen from dancing around him. Hughes pinned to the boards. Jannik Hansen comes off the wall with it. He has the lone goal for the Vancouver Canucks. Ferriero and Marleau have tallied for the San Jose Sharks. Again, who come in having played the fewest games in the National Hockey League, as many as 6 games in hand the Sharks have. Some of the teams that they're chasing or battling with for a playoff spot in the West, including the team right in front of them, Colorado. Minnesota also has played 40 games. They had played just 34.
Yeah, that's so strange, Dave. That whole situation, having played so few games compared to everybody else, makes the standings look strange.
You know, Luongo's going to get a penalty here. We're going to take a close look at this when we come back. Roberto Luongo was talking with referee Dean Morton. He's called for delay of game here by the official who's behind him, Brian.
Yeah, because he played the puck outside the trapezoid. Joe Thornton was in the corner. Watch Thornton, he'll sell this one. Hey.
Yeah.
The puck was over the line. It actually was on the line, and I think Luongo was arguing that it was still in, but it has to be over the line, just like a goal. It did hit the line, so he gets called for playing the puck out of the trapezoid.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the right call, but that's not reviewable. A delay of game situation.
And Thornton couldn't see it from there anyway.
No, that's right.
Luongo had his stick on the other side of it, so he just sold it.
Sends it in deep. Good job by Sallow. Pavelski got there momentarily for the Sharks, but it's taken back now by the Canucks, and back the other way now. Kessler chasing it in deep. Burroughs is there. Tom McClellan, as you mentioned earlier, Brian, it told us that it's been rare in these confrontations that the Sharks have won the special teams battle. They have an opportunity to do that here.
Yeah, and both these teams, as we said, are really good 5-on-5. They're both really solid. They each only have 2 or 3 players that are minor players. All the top stars of both teams are plus players, and right now San Jose is in favor of that because they got. There it is.
Look out, Luongo gave up a rebound but made the save on Logan Couture.
Yeah, Couture just jumped in on the offensive side there. I think the extra thought that the puck was going to be played to the corner by Luongo, and Luongo didn't clear the rebound very well. Couture got a free chance.
Now Braun with it. Went in on Luongo and he holds it with the glove.
Here's the last look on that rebound. Luongo has trouble controlling it for sure, and just quickness, sharpness by Couture, who's the leading scorer in the month of December for San Jose. It's rolling. He tries to shovel it. He's trying to go over the blocker side there, Couture is, but can't get enough puck on his stick.
Well, the face-off here is controlled by the Sharks. Braun on the far side. Demers goes back to Braun. Quick touch pass now to Ryan Clough. 35 seconds left in the Vancouver penalty to Luongo that is being served by Daniel Sedin, and the Canucks able to send it down the ice.
Yeah, that was just careless by Clough there. There's no reason to have that puck intercepted. I mean, Couture, excuse me. I said Clough. I meant Couture.
Bouncing puck. Higgins lost it, but got it back and cleared it out to center ice. And that play is offside. Well, let's take a look at the games coming later this week. Tuesday, it'll be the Detroit Red Wings and the Dallas Stars. That'll start at 7 Eastern here on the ABC Sports Network. And the Bruins and the Devils on Wednesday night. Then NHL Network will have the Rangers and the Penguins as the Rangers with that huge win in the 2012 Bridgestone Winter Classic. Strengthen their hold a little bit on the top spot in the Eastern Conference. But if you've watched any of the 24/7 episodes, you know that John Tortorella is not going to let his foot off the gas, regardless of what the standings are. Daniel Sedin broken up, and it's cleared back the other way. All the way down wide of Luongo. This is going to be icing on the Sharks. Let's go inside the glass with Brian Engblom.
Well, we talked a lot about Vancouver's defensemen and the number of points that they supply for this team. I suspect as this game goes on, we're going to see them a lot more involved. As the second period went on, in fact, they were much better at getting involved, bringing the puck up, going deep sometimes 4-on-4. Salo was down deep. Sammy Salo finding ways to get pucks through. They've controlled it, looking for the outlets early in the game. I thought San Jose did a really good job of getting in the shooting lanes against the Vancouver D. But as the game has gone on, these guys find a way to create some offense, and they're going to need that now. They're still down by 1 goal here, almost a halfway point.
Another icing call here against San Jose as Bieksa touches up.
And San Jose's done a better job, I think, in this third period of mixing the offense and the defense, because I felt at the end of the second period, Joe Thornton and his guys were backed in. I mean, they looked like they were killing a penalty when they had 5 guys in the zone in the last 2 minutes. That's a recipe for disaster in my mind. Yes, you have to play strong and solid defensively, but at the same time, you got to put some pressure and spend some time in the offensive zone.
The Canucks win the draw, but the shot from the angle rolled off the boards and out to center ice. Bieksa back to get it. Yannick Hansen from Cody Hodgson, the only goal for the Vancouver Canucks. Ferrio from Clough and Couture. Marleau from Braun and Pavelski, the 2 goals for the Sharks that both came in the second period. San Jose had a 17-7 shot advantage. Third of 4 meetings between these two teams, and the road team Canucks won the first 2, and it's the road team Sharks that had the lead in this one. As we approach the halfway mark of the third period, Douglas Murray pushes it out through center ice. Corey Mitchell trying to get there, but a good stick by Hughes. Pressure by Mitchell again on the back check. And the Canucks have to back up and regroup. Edler finds Burrows up the middle. Burrows hands it off Daniel Sedin with a shot. What save by Niemi. And it bounced off of that glove to the far boards, and the Canucks still control. Henrik Sedin, that was for Daniel, but not away from him. Now Burrows across the line. Daniel Sedin again takes a look to the front. Shot stopped by Niemi. who was going down. Looked like he hit him up near the mask. Here is Edler. Fakes the shot. Now he lets it go. And that hit a skate went wide. Then right back to the front. And knocked away to the high slot for another opportunity by Edler that didn't get through. Edler gets to it again. It's punched out near the line. And Henrik Sedin could not hold it in.
It's not just the shots from the point that make a difference. Oh, there's going to be a penalty here. Another penalty on San Jose. Ryan Clo's going to go for a hold. And he's trying to get Burrows to take a penalty now. And Burrows has been around the block long enough here. He's going to walk away from this one. Clo got on the backside of him and wrapped him around. And San Jose is in trouble again.
The Vancouver power play that has struggled will get another opportunity as Niemi keeps them off the board.
Well, 7 minor penalties for the San Jose Sharks, and this is one of them. Ryan Clo, when you get your stick wrapped around on one side, you end up in the penalty box most of the time. Then he tries to get Alex Burrows to come to the penalty box, but Burrows is too smart for that.
Sharks another huge face-off win, shorthanded. Remember the one they won at the beginning of the 5-on-3 that Vancouver had with 1:09 up on the clock for that 2-man advantage. It produced nothing for the Canucks, and here they have another power play chance. Daniel Sedin cruising in, pulls it back, shoots, and a save by Niemi. Hammered by Boyle around the boards, and Henrik Sedin could not hold it in.
Yeah, that was a tough skip. The puck literally just skipped about a foot away from Sedin right over his stick.
San Jose Sharks just one regulation loss in their last 8 games. Well, they got 4 wins, that 1 loss, and 3 games that they at least got past regulation and got a point in. And again, we asked Todd McClellan about the standings. You look at it and realize that you've got all those games at hand. And he said, yeah, well, you know, you're not supposed to think about that, but you can't help but realize that he's basically we're 13 days behind the rest of the league.
Yeah, that was a good way to put it. He said, we're like 2 weeks behind.
That's chance at the top of the slot, and Cody Hodgson makes no mistake just inside the post.
That isn't very far off where Kessler had the scoring chances early in the game. Hodgson out above the tops of the circles, and he just one-timed it. This was right on the ice, and Niemi had no chance at it. Number 9 will set up. He inches his way back. See how he feels for the opening there? That was well done. Well done here, too, on the pass by Dan Hamhuis to just delay, and allow Hodgson to get into the spot in the slot that he wanted to. The pass is right on the tape, and as soon as it hits the tape, it's gone. And it was right on the ice to the far side. And I don't think Niemi could pick it up until the last second, and that was too late.
9th of the season for Hodgson, who had the only assist on the first goal, so a 2-point night for Cody Hodgson. And the Vancouver power play finally strikes. Here is Mitchell coming right back for the Sharks. Raymond sends it deep. And that goal has kind of energized this sellout crowd here at Rogers Arena. Hamhuis toward the front of the net, and bounced off of Niemi to the near side.
Well, it energizes Vancouver, too, and they like to play the speed game. They like the tempo game, and when they score, of course, they're full of themselves, and now the tempo's up again.
Here's Hamhuis. Well, the shot that's blocked to the far side. Evan had it jump over a stick. It's taken away by Yannick Hansen. He lobs it back to the near board. Mason Raymond gets to it. He makes a move on Braun. Now Raymond turns, looks to the front, gets a shot away, and then skipped off of Niemi and off the glass and out of play.
I think part of the success that San Jose had been having in the late stages of the second after they went ahead 2-1 and the early part of this third is that they can slow it down. A lot more face-offs, a lot more control. San Jose does better against Vancouver, at least in this game. But you could tell the tempo went right back up again, ramped right up. Vancouver loves to take it and go. They'd love to go a stretch here now with very few whistles and just start rolling their top lines and keep the pressure on.
Hamhuis Bieksa had the assist on the Hodgson goal on the power play. And back out to center ice. Salo stepped up there for the Canucks and drives it right back into the San Jose zone. Classic for Thornton. Moves it ahead to an area hoping that Boyle can get there. It's knocked away by Edler. And the Canucks back the other way. Here's Kessler. Salo got a stick on it. Drops it back now for Brent Burns.
Dan Boyle had more ice time than anybody else in this game from 2.
Burns and Sets up Pavelski for a chance and is stopped by Luongo.
Line change there, and Pavelski got open at the far blue line. That was a nice pass by Brent Burns, and he was stopped by Roberto Luongo. Has really been solid in this game. We've come in here, for games in the playoffs and in the regular season, and it's just in the air. People feel like they're waiting for Luongo to let one of those goals in, that it is going to deflate things. It's not been like that at all. The atmosphere has not been like that at all in this game. He has been solid. It's not just about stopping the puck for him. It's what he looks like, and he's looked good.
Yep, his body language has been positive, and now the Sharks on the attack. Burns doesn't get it through. Now it's picked up by Clough. He kind of fanned on it. Another opportunity stopped by Luongo, as there were bodies down in front of that Vancouver net. And back the other way. Hanson with that good speed. Cuts to the inside and one hands it wide.
That was that fast break again by Vancouver. They're good, especially when they see that San Jose gets pressed up with 3 and 4 players. Demers had to do a good job one-on-one against Hanson there. Hanson has great speed.
Vlasic will play it around, and it goes out of play with 6:03 remaining here in regulation time.
Jannik Hansen has already set a career high for goals this season in his career. He's so fast. He's on the fly all the time and goes down that right wing, and he'll fly the zone and look for bank passes off the wall and any kind of scoring chance he can get one-on-one. But Demers did a nice job against him.
Now Pavelski drops it back. There is Boyle with it. He wanted to go to Joe Thornton. Away by Daniel Sedin for Burrows. Burrows slides it in on Niemi, and he will cover it.
Dan Boyle used to play with Murray all the time, but Murray was out for a long stretch with an injury, so Boyle's been playing with Vlasic a lot, and they've been effective.
They'll need to be effective down the stretch as the Canucks have come back to tie this game at 2. The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Discover Card. It pays to discover. Official card of the NHL. And welcome back to Vancouver, British Columbia. Roberto Luongo, solid, especially in that second period when his team fell behind. The 2 saves he made on Joe Thornton come to mind. The one on the power play, Brian, and then on the breakaway.
2 great chances for Thornton.
Now Kessler off the wall with it. Going to be strong in his stick. Sends it to Cody Hodgson, who has an assist and a goal here tonight. On a night that so far, the top line for the Canucks, Burrows and the Sedin twins, have been held off the score sheet. Backhanded by Marlowe. Thornton racing after it. Salo has the angle on him.
Good job by Salo there, getting in on the stick side of Thornton and not let Thornton reach through or steal it from him. He just boxed him right out.
Thornton with a steal, tried to get it to the front for Marlowe. Now Kessler with it. Intercepted by Ryan Clough. Clough goes back down for Thornton. Tried to. Good stick by Kessler. Intercepted. And Edler plays it up the far side. Cody Hodgson. And his shift tips it back into the San Jose zone. Well, we mentioned it earlier, Brian, a race to 3, and that's what it looks like it's going to be here.
Exactly.
4.5 remaining in regulation time. 2-2 is our score. Backhanded by Clough into the Vancouver zone. Ferrio with it. Fans on it. The extra steps into him. Now Logan Couture goes back to Ferrio. Back to the far side. Evatt came over quickly for the Canucks. Evatt, as I mentioned earlier, was the overtime hero in the win last Wednesday in San Jose for Vancouver. Evatt plays it up the near side. Mason Raymond able to clear it. Slides it across. Now Vlasic trying to get it deep. It's cleared away by Vancouver. And it's sent back now into the Vancouver zone. As Albert plays it up the far side. Daniel Sedin, 3.5 remaining in regulation. Backhands it deep. Niemi out to play that puck. Off the near side. Henrik Sedin. Challenged there by Jamie McGinn. Jesus gave Henrik a shove, and Andrews plays it off the near board. Mitchell with his speed is going to try to get to it, but Alberts angled him away.
San Jose's doing a good job of chipping and chasing, spending some time in the Vancouver zone after they got scored on.
Ballard turns it over as McGinn gets it deep. But the Sharks making a change as we have less than 3 minutes now remaining in the third period.
When you've been sitting on a 1-goal lead and then you give it up, sometimes it's hard to get your offense going back again, but San Jose doing a good job.
Boy, Hodgson there somehow got a shot away as he was being occupied by the San Jose defender. And he forced Niemi to make a pretty good save. Now Demers tries to go up the boards with it. Thornton gets a stick on it. And Pavelski will chase it down. Thornton in there as well along with Marlowe, but the Canucks get the puck free. Higgins sends it rink wide. Kessler stands on the first attempt and now sweeps it in high off the glass. Burns sends it back the other way. And he's back to get it. That's going to be icing against San Jose with 2:09 remaining here in the third.
Dan Hamhuis wasn't even sure if the whistle had been blown there. He didn't quite hear it. There's a look at Jannik Hansen. Look at this play he had earlier in the game. Just radar. Going through the neutral zone, lets the puck come between his feet, and then later on, that's the speed that I talked about. He's a real north-south player. He flies the zone, he gets ready for it, he drives defensemen back. One of the big reasons why he's got a career high 12 goals already this year.
And he's a big reason why they can play with that pace that you talked about, Brian. And we're excited here in Vancouver about the prospects of this team when David Booth comes back. Who will add more speed to the forward line.
And he's got a great set of hands, too.
Now it comes to Ferrier with a shot and a save made by Luongo. Just got the left arm on it, but then he kind of awkwardly went down and lost his stick. Luongo still without his goal stick as it comes to Boyle. Shot is deflected up on top of the net. I'm not sure if it was Luongo that hits this, Brian, or somebody else in front, but
I'm not sure either, but there was like a wrestling match going on behind the Vancouver net, too. Bodies were flying all over the place. San Jose bench was up in arms. They thought a couple of penalties should have happened in behind, but there started by the shot by Ferrier. Really nice job by Luongo. When he got back into his net, he lost control of his stick. Look at that hit in behind there. That was Hamhuis with a big hit, and you can see Luongo was still rolling around there with no stick in his hand. That's it does. Off his shoulder, rolls all the way around and stays on top. Oh my goodness. But when he made the initial save on Ferrier and the puck went behind the net, he scrambled back and the handle of his stick hit the goalpost and it knocked it out of his hand. So then he's off balance and he's definitely in scramble mode, as were his defensemen in front of him.
And that is a terrific save, because you know as a goaltender it's just awkward not to have the stick in your hand.
Yeah, and that was a great glove save. He literally fought that one off and threw it up on top of the net.
Minute and a half remaining in regulation. Douglas Murray slides it across for Braun. Races to the red line into the offensive zone. Kind of flubbed on the pass, sent back the other way. Here's Kessler with it. One-on-one against Douglas Murray. Kessler with a shot. And then a little shove by Kessler on Douglas Murray.
Douglas Murray did a really good job there. Kessler's smart because he can't get back on the play defensively. San Jose defense had jumped up on offense and they turned the puck over. I think it was Justin Braun on the original rush. He turns it over and back comes Vancouver the other way. They do the quick ups better than anybody in the league almost, and that was Kessler on the move. And Murray had to get over and front them very quickly. That's a mismatch in speed, but Murray's smart about body positioning, and he makes it tough on you all the time to get around him. It's a long way around Douglas Murray.
It is. Henrik Sedin, Joe Pavelski. The puck comes to the boards. The Canucks get to it. Daniel Sedin behind the net. Wheels to try to get it in front. Burrows comes over, picks it up for Vancouver. Cycles it back. Daniel let it go for Henrik. Henrik behind the net. Sharks are just leaving it back there for now. Now a centering pass is blocked. Bouncing puck is knocked down, and so is Burrows. And now it's hammered off the boards, and it bounces off of Salo. And the Canucks want to come right back on the attack, and that play is ruled offside.
Sedin was behind the net, and I think the guy he really had his eye on was Sammy Salo. I could see his eyes pretty well. He knew that Burrows was right there in front of him, immediately in front of the net. But look at Salo at the top of the screen, trying to move around, get different positions, and then Sedin went, okay, I'll give it to Burrows. His stick is open for a moment. They tried that quick bang-bang play.
Now Bieksa glances up at the overhead scoreboard, 43 seconds and counting, remaining in regulation time. That puck deflects off of Hansen, picked up on the far side by Kessler. Kessler dropped it back. Oh, he had Higgins moving in, and one of the Sharks with a terrific poke check.
Logan Couture, terrific positioning, smart, reading the play, not just staring at the puck, and he deflected that one out of the zone.
Now Burns just looking to clear, got it to the line. It didn't come out. Batted down by Couture with a good hand-eye coordination again. Higgins tried to quickly counter right back into the San Jose zone. We're down to 13 seconds. That was offside.
Let's go back to Logan Couture in the slot, number 39 in white. He sees what the play is, and that's terrific awareness there. He just reached out, steals it. All he has to do, he's not exactly sure who is behind him wearing a blue jersey, but he knows somebody's there, and he just sort of sniffed the play out. That was a terrific deflection to get a lot of pressure off them out of their zone.
Yeah, that was Chris Higgins that was coming in on the weak side, and Couture, you're right. He didn't care who it was. He just knew it wasn't going to be a good idea to let that puck go. Final 7 seconds now of regulation time. Here is McGinn trying to get free. He does it. Hit for Mitchell. He scores, but I heard the horn.
Green light's on.
Oh, wow.
That's like a half a second too late.
Well, you know they'll look at this and they'll slow it down and they'll go frame by frame, but wow.
Well, Vancouver was ready for overtime just a tad too soon. But boy, are they lucky. Literally saved by the bell here. A quick up at the blue line. Salo overcommits and leaves the middle of the ice wide open. That's a terrific shot by Mitchell. And there's the clock, 0. And yeah, that's a good 0.3 seconds late. Probably you could easily see that the green light was on already. When the green light goes on, the red light or the goal light cannot go on. But Vancouver just kind of misread that play, seemed to let up. Sammy Salo went over and he had no help on the other side at all. Mitchell just comes steaming down. We had 4 goals scored in this game. 2 by each. That's why we're going overtime.
Now we'll take a look at our game summary as Hansen, kind of a broken play. It looked like it had the makings of being a beautiful goal. It ends up going in the net, but off the stick of Jamie McGinn. And then Ferrio jumped in there to give San Jose a 1-1 tie. And after the goal by Marleau gave San Jose the lead, it was Cody Hodgson, Brian, on the power play, finally on the power play, that had 6 chances.
Yeah. Well, you just knew. I mean, we said it many times, the #1 power play in the National Hockey League, and they've been in a bit of a slump, but it did come through for them. Now, in a 4-on-4 scenario, tempo again, I think, will be big. I still believe that Vancouver loves the tempo game. They would love to go through virtually this whole 5 minutes, if it takes that, without any whistles, and just keep pushing them.
Andrew Ebbett, who incidentally is celebrating his 29th birthday today, was celebrating for a different reason last Wednesday night. This is in overtime, and he had said, Brian, he goes, I wasn't even sure I was going to get a shift in the overtime, and he shows his stick and tips it home.
That's always a big part of it. It's a terrific shot from the point, and Ebbett got his stick on it, and there's no way you can save those when they're deflected right up from in front of the goaltender.
Pretty good week for Ebbett, because just before that game, he had his first career 2-goal game in a win over Edmonton. So, 4 skaters aside here to start the overtime. Each team with a point in the standings. Vancouver with a chance to catch Chicago at the top of the Western Conference pending the outcome of the Blackhawks-Oilers game. And of course, San Jose trying to tie LA for the top spot in the division. As a shot here, stop, rebound! Oh, that hit the Emmy. He's still not sure where it is.
It hit the post. It hit the goal post. Dan Hamhuis. The rebound came out. Dan Hamhuis had terrific penetration down the left wing side. The puck came right out to him. He had the empty net, and it goes off the far goal post. Watch the shot by Bieksa and the rebound come out. And Marleau is with Hamhuis, but he doesn't have his stick. So Hamhuis pulls the trigger. Look at that. And Niemi could easily have, scored that in his own net, having it come off so quickly off the goal post. But the hockey sense of the goaltenders and how to move their pads when they're on the ice. Yeah, they do need some luck, but he spun around and kept the one underneath him on the rebound off the post.
Great example from that reverse angle look of the shot by Bieksa as Edler now hands it off to Daniel Sedin. Now for Henrik. And Douglas Murray gets a great example, Brian, of a lot of times those shots, like Bieksa is not necessarily trying to score there, but it turns into a pass the way it goes off the goaltender's pad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But also sometimes they can go off the pad and off the middle of the wall and right out of the zone, too, with Hamhuis caught on the other side.
Barrio's shot was blocked by Daniel Sedin. Henrik now is checked by Douglas Murray.
It's a good thing Henrik slowed up. I think he sensed Murray was coming across because Murray would have wasted him there.
Joe Thornton hands it off. Barrio with a burst of speed. A save by Luongo. And the puck stayed in front of him. Mason Raymond able to get to it.
Well, they're trying to go high on Luongo. He does have a tendency to go down on his knees for sure. Barrio's had a couple now off the shoulders of Luongo.
Here come the Canucks. 7th overtime game for them. They have won 4 and lost 2. Sharks have been involved. This is their 10th overtime game. They are 5-4 in their previous 9 as Luongo steers it aside. Hudson, who's bigger than both of the goals, slides it across. And it was Brent Burns that had that opportunity for the Sharks. Hamhuis for Mason Raymond. Raymond across the line. Wait for the rest of the Canucks to make the change. Now Raymond will drop it back. The exit for Higgins. He lost control.
The X is really active. Since the late part of the second period, he's really been active offensively.
Burns and Higgins got tied up. The crowd here wanted a penalty as Higgins was upended. Bieksa wouldn't let that puck go through.
And he's fortunate, boy. He stole that one because Pavelski was gone behind him. Edler was trying to get the angle on him, but that was a bit of a gamble there by Bieksa. He pulled it off.
Now Pavelski pressured by Burrows. Vlasic hands it off down to Patrick Marleau, who sends it in deep. Luongo for Edler, who leaves it and lets Bieksa pick it up. He drops it back for Burrows. Burrows, Kessler, Bieksa, and Edler. And Bieksa's gone to the bench and Savage comes out now. Now Ferrio. Thornton drops it back. Here's Boyle. Boyle across the line. Between the circles, veers back. Turns to the forehand. The shot knocked down in front. Thornton picks it up. He tries to drop it back. He got it to Vlasic, who fired in wide of Luongo. And the big carom off the boards is picked up by Kessler. Kessler able to get it through now to Daniel Sedin. Daniel Sedin looks to the front, put it up high. Now Kessler again. Daniel Sedin hands it off to the front of the net, and that's knocked away by Niemi, and he blocked it all the way out to center ice. Hamhuis circling back, just over a minute remaining here in the overtime. Henrik Sedin, far side, Bieksa. Pass a little bit behind him, he's still got a stick on it. Now Marleau. Pressured there by both Sedins. Now it is Daniel who tried to shoot one from a difficult angle there on Niemi.
I think he wanted to back that one in off the back of his leg and just hit the side of the net.
Now Bieksa lays it along for Mason Raymond. Raymond will drop it back now as we approach a half a minute remaining here in the overtime. Each team with a point in the standings. Edler, rink wide pass doesn't connect. And this could be icing, I believe. Yes, icing against the Canucks with 19.3 seconds. As we take you back to that opportunity that Ben Ferrio had a few moments ago.
Yeah, Ferrio's had a couple of really good scoring chances here. A nice delay by Thornton in the middle of the ice. And Luongo was down, but he is out. And he's a big man. There's not a lot to look at. And you can see the puck did flip up on Ferrio. He did a nice job to get the shot away. Luongo lost it for a second. It just went straight up in the air. and he was able to, with some help from his defenseman, control it. San Jose has called a timeout here now.
Yep.
And San Jose, Dave, has done a good job in this overtime, because to me, as I said earlier, I thought that, with not very many face-offs in 4-on-4, which usually happens, that it would favor Vancouver. But San Jose certainly has had their fair share of chances and puck control here in this 4-on-4 overtime too.
Well, stay with us at the conclusion of this game, the Bud Light post-game show. Liam McHugh, Keith Jones, Jeremy Roenick down to the wire in the Winter Classic, and Tortorella's strong words on the referees in the third period. Most of John Tortorella's words are strong, aren't they?
Every one of them. Every one. Ask any of his players.
All right, face-off here with 19.3 seconds remaining in the overtime. Pavelski for the Sharks. Hodgson for the Canucks. And it's controlled by San Jose. Here's Boyle with it. Makes a nice move on Hodgson. Hands it off Thornton straight away. Here's Brent Burns to the front of the net. Deflected, and a save made by Luongo. Centering opportunity was blocked. I think Thornton was trying to bank that off Luongo. And Hodgson able to get this puck out to center ice, and 65 minutes will not settle it. And we are going to go to a shootout. So stay with us for that and see who gets the extra point here at the end of regulation and overtime. The Sharks and the Canucks tied at 2. Well, Roberto Luongo getting ready for this shootout. He has not fared well in shootouts this season, not nearly as well as Antti Niemi. Roberto Luongo is 1-2, and he has given up 5 goals on just 8 shots.
And there's Corey Schneider sitting on the end of the bench, and a bunch of the Vancouver Canucks came over to this end of the bench and were asking him, what do we do? What do you like about this goaltender? How can we beat him? And he was talking about Niemi, and he said, you got to, all I heard with part of it was, you got to try and back him out, back him up in his net, and he'll put the paddle down. And then the next part is, you got to go high once he does that.
Alex Burrows will be shooting first for the Vancouver Canucks.
Sometimes what you'll see from teams too, Dave, is the first guy will almost be the guinea pig. They'll try a certain move, and they'll come back to the bench and tell their next shooter, yeah, it's there. You can do it. I just missed it. It could be a move to your backhand. It might be a quick shot up shelf, top shelf, whatever. But I've seen that strategy work before too.
You see the career numbers on Burrows. He's 1 for 2 this season in shootout attempts. Going up against Antti Niemi.
Number 14, Alex Burrows.
Well, Burrows picks it up at the center ice dot, moves in on Niemi, and lost control. I'm not sure if Niemi got the poke check there, Brian. He certainly lost the stick.
Yeah, I was blocked out here, but he did try to move Niemi back into his net. He was listening to his goaltender, all right, Schneider. Watch, he comes in with some speed, and there's the paddle down. That was pretty good tactics and information from Schneider, but he couldn't quite pull it off. Burrows tried it, lost it at the last second.
Ryan Clough, terrific numbers in his career, and he's 3 out of 5 so far this season in shootouts. Coming against Luongo, who comes out to challenge. Clough shoots, and Luongo stops him.
Well done by Luongo. Luongo's been very patient in this game. All those shots off his shoulder, he comes out and challenges Clough, and Clough's going to go to his forehand here. Luongo's ready, and he just sees that one move. Both his blocker and his right pad were there in time. Well done by Luongo.
That'll be Cody Hodgson. There you see his season and career numbers. He's 1 for 2.
Let's see if he tries the same move as Burrows.
Hodgson to the backhand, and he elevated it, but I think Niemi got a piece of it.
It was very similar. They were trying to do a very basic thing there. Just come in, and Hodgson, who was a right-hand shot, will come in, and you try to make that good one smooth, clean move there. But boy, Niemi is quick coming across. There was a little bit of room between the blocker and body, but Hodgson didn't fit it in.
Joel Pavelski, who has hit 2 out of 4 shootout attempts this season, looking to give the Sharks the lead here in the shootout. Moves in on Luongo. Straight up the gut, and a save made by Luongo.
Interesting. Both times Luongo comes out, and watch him just kind of shake his glove hand. I don't know if that's a rhythm thing or if it's a distraction thing for the shooter, but it's interesting. He did it both times. Look at it. There it is. Yeah. He's not waving to Pavelski, but it may just be, sort of a balance or a rhythm thing on his part as well, too. Or maybe it's a reminder to keep his glove hand up.
That'll be Ryan Kessler, who's just under 30% in his career, 0 for 1 this season. He's going to come with a little bit of speed here on Niemi. Kessler, now he slows down, shoots, hits the goal post. And he looks upward, Brian, as if to say it was there and I just missed it.
Well, you can see they're really trying to get Niemi to back in, and that's the whole idea with the speed here. Kessler comes with speed and then puts the brakes on, hoping that the goaltender's momentum will continue on and that he'll drive himself too far back. But Niemi does a really good job. When Kessler slows down, so does Niemi. So Niemi's still in good position. Kessler rings it off the pipe.
Handzus 50% on the season and his career. He can give the Sharks the victory with a goal here to the forehand. He scores! Michael Handzus roosts it on the forehand and gives San Jose their first victory of the season over their rivals from Vancouver.
Final score of 3-2.
And Handzus kind of cruising as he got closer, but pulled it over to the forehand and with confidence went right up under the bar. There's that little glove shake that Brian talked about from Luongo, and Handzus says, I'm not going to the glove side, I'm going the other way. Antti Niemi gets the win in the shootout, and the San Jose Sharks momentarily jump from 10th in the conference to 3rd as they are tied for the division lead with Los Angeles. And let's go down to the shootout hero, Michael Handzus, standing by with Brian Engblom.
Well, Michael, congratulations. Tell us what you were thinking going in on that shootout goal.
Well, I don't want to set my move, so I try to see whether he is, if he's deep or if he's challenging, and then just what's the first in my mind, and I go for it. So,
do you guys talk to each other, the prior shooters, to see what they're seeing and use that information when you go in?
Not really, but you're watching the goalie, so it's always tough to go first. But after that, you can kind of read where he is, and then you can be a little bit easier.
Both teams are good 5-on-5. You guys were ahead in this game 2-1. They tie it back up. You've lost so many tight games to them over the last year or so. Was there anxiety there that you were going down that same road again?
I think we are a pretty confident team, and I know we lost a couple of tight ones, but I thought we were playing pretty well. We took too many penalties, especially in the third, so it cost us a little bit, but we won. We need those 2 points.
Thanks very much. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Dave.
Michael Handzus, the shootout hero, as San Jose defeats Vancouver 3-2. For Brian Engblom and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Strader, reminding you that coming up next here on the NBC Sports Network, we'll check in with the Bud Light post-game show. And then after that, we will move on to NHL overtime. A lot happened today in the National Hockey League. We're glad that you joined us here in Vancouver for this 3-2 San Jose victory.